Evening, everybody. It's a few minutes after 6, and this is your closing comment for Wednesday. And it is video number 1503 for Wednesday night. Okay, so I'm going to start by saying that I watched Joe Biden at his press conference in the middle of the day, and I have never heard anybody so full of shit. It just amazes me that these people in Washington will say something that they know is absolutely, it's not exactly a lie, but it's also not exactly the truth. And what I'm commenting on is the fact that he's going to release another 15 million barrels out of the strategic petroleum reserve. And really, that's for um, politics, not need. What somebody after he finished all of his bullshit, uh, somebody called out the question. Well, what are you going to do with with gas prices? And his commentary was, well, oil is down 30%, and these thieving bad oil companies are using their exorbitant profits to buy back stock and pay dividends instead of investing in more stuff. And he said, well, uh, gasoline prices are just not coming down as much. And then he quoted, the imbecile, quoted the fact that oil is down 30%. Well, guess what, Sleepy Joe? So is gasoline. Gasoline hit $5 here. It's currently 3.5. 3.5 from 5 is $1.50 decline. $1.50 decline from $5 is 3.50. So I don't know where he's getting his info or who's feeding him what kind of stuff, but clearly it was wrong. In any event, he then said that, oh, we're going to buy it back between 70 and 80. That would be like you or me saying, you know, I've been watching this stock, this Tesla, and I think I'm going to sell it up here at 220. And then you know what? When it goes back to 195, then I'm going to buy it. That clearly is not the reality of the situation. That's his hope mode for where he can buy it back. It may never get back to $70. I'm not making a comment on the market that way. I'm just saying, in theory, we could go higher rather than lower. But hey, he's the president, he's got the bully pulpit, and so we listen to his bullshit. Okay, so oil, by the way, today was up $2.50, and the EIA number was a drawdown of a million 730,000 was the drawdown versus last week's increase of 9.84 million. So I guess that his little speech did a whole hell of a lot of good. Okay, after the close, we had earnings. We had IBM, which beat top and bottom line and actually gave solid guidance. This is a stock that in the last week or so has gone from 115 to 122 and a half, where it closed today, down 43 cents. And after the number came out, it traded over, just a fraction over, but over 130. The last on it is 126.89. That's up 395 or 3.2%. But look at it, 115 to 130 in pretty basically 4 days. So you look at that, that's a pretty hefty move. Earlier in Also after the close, Tesla. A miss on revenues, but a beat on earnings, and some okay guidance. The stock had closed 222, up $1.85. Unbelievable as it may seem, the projected move on this was fairly dramatic, and we got none of it. It closed at 206. Pardon me. It had a low of 206 and a high of 228 after the close, and the last on it was 217 and change. So it was down $5 on the earnings. So they weren't as bad as a lot of people were trying to talk it down. Generac, great company. The stock has gone from 30 to 500 over the last 4 or 5 years, on global warming, storm, excessively bad storms and such. So the stock moved from last year 524 to close today 147.74. After their incredibly poor guidance, the stock closed 109.90, down 37.84 or 25.6%. AMSL, ASML, which is not a semi stock, but it is a semi stock from the standpoint of they make the equipment that works on them. It gave solid guidance, 424.02, up 25 and change, 6.3%. And I'm bringing back an old service or an old item that I used to go with every single day, the disaster du jour. OLPX. It's a hair care product company. The stock had recently been, or the end of last year, November, had been $30. It had moved down to 12, and then up to about 18 again, and down to a close yesterday of $9.05. That's not the disaster. The disaster was today, when it traded down to $4.14 and closed the day at 424, down $4.81 or 53%. So the disaster du jour, right on the money. Okay, this is the chart of the S&P. Now, if you're not a subscriber, I actually posted this chart on the Discord room Sunday night when I put the letter out. And what I called for, let's remember, Sunday night or Friday night, we had closed here at 35.97, so under 3,600 and a close on the low. And at that point, I called a rally in it and said I expected it in the very short term to be able to get towards 3,800. We got as high as 37.77. So from 36 to 37.77 in basically 2 days, a huge move, I might add. And it stopped dead right there. And in fact, I had this line that I'm showing you, I had actually drawn that line right here around 37.90. And then today opened slightly lower, made a lower low. The only non-confirmation here is the fact that this purple line, the 5-day moving average, is approached the 20-day MA. These are simple moving averages. The 20-day, and should that cross back to the upside, last time it crossed back up to the upside was right here at 38 and a quarter, and we rallied up to 43.27. A couple of times after it broke through to the downside around the 4170 area, we continued all the way down to 3900. We moved up, and even though we moved from 3900 back to 4175, that 5 day never crossed. It got close and then it turned down. It got close here again and then it turned down. So we're kind of in a spot where it could go either way. I still think there's a lot of resistance at 3,800, and so I would say I'm sticking to the short side here. Not right now, not today. I mean, the place to short it was towards the highs today, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Okay, so oil up 245, up just opened again, up about 30 cents. Gold 1634.20, down 21.60, and unchanged tonight. Bitcoin was up $20, so nothing meaningful there. The dollar was strong again, 12.88, up 88 cents, which is big, and the bonds were lower by 1 5/8. Nat gas is in an area where I think it might be getting exhausted to the downside at 546, down 28, and the silver was down 24 cents at 1835. I'll be back in the morning with Thursday's numbers, and Thursday's claims day, so we'll have that information too. Have a good evening.